Alcohol and the teenage brain. So we've learned masses about this in the last 10 years. And the news, well, some of it's good, some of it's bad. The good news first, alcohol's really not that damaging to the adult brain. I mean, in excess, of course, it's going to be damaging. But what I'm saying is when the adult brain is fully developed, you can consume a reasonable amount of alcohol without any damage happening. You've got receptors in your brain for alcohol, so they help to protect you somewhat as an adult. What that means basically is an adult can have 8 units an hour, which is, about 4 pints, and they doesn't really register any damage. A teenager though, your brain is under construction, so your brain's much more vulnerable to damage. A teenager can only handle 1 unit an hour before they start doing damage to the brain. That's, an eighth of what an adult can handle. That means if you open a stubby and you drink it within an hour, you're doing brain damage. Because the human brain is very, very susceptible to the effects of that poison during adolescence, even though it's going to be quite resilient to it later on. So this whole international group's called Not Until 21, because if you could wave a magic wand and have no one in society drink alcohol till 21, most of our problems with alcohol would disappear. Even when people are 35 and 40 and have a huge problem with alcohol, we associate that with the damage they did to their frontal cortex under the age of 18. If those people hadn't drunk until sort of 18, 21, for most of you it's 18, but 21 to include everybody, if they hadn't drunk until then they wouldn't be having those behaviours as a 40-year-old because they wouldn't have damaged their frontal cortex, and it would be quite resilient to the alcohol they're having at 40 if they hadn't damaged it earlier. In essence, the 2 parts of your brain that are damaged by having alcohol under the age of 18 is your frontal cortex, the clever part of your brain. It's compromised in its development, so you don't reach your full intelligence. And the other part is the hippocampus, which is the memory in the brain. So the part you need to remember the information for exams. We can measure the hippocampus. The earlier you take on, you pass that sort of 1 unit per hour of alcohol during adolescence, the more shriveled in size your frontal cortex is, so the less your memory is. That means the only people that have full capacity of their memory are for sure are the people who didn't drink until they're 21. Hence you get those groups called Not Until 21. So yeah, those are the 2 parts of the brain that are damaged. So I'm not saying don't ever drink, I'm saying when you go to university, it's a part of the culture and being unreasonable. I don't see anything really wrong with that because your brain is likely to be resilient by 18. So I'm saying that during adolescence and during high school, you seriously compromise your future potential by having excessive amounts of alcohol. So I mean, if you can take the 1 stubby and nurse that for an hour and a half, then you're pretty much damage free. It's about the amount of alcohol that's being consumed. So there you have it.